Hello everyone, I'm Mhorgrimm, and, well, welcome back to my Let's Play of Starfield. Sitting here on the Kananaskis, hanging out with our crew, and finishing off scientific method. Okay.
Good day, Captain.
First, though, I'm just going to stop in our friendly depot here. And sell off some stuff to try and lower... Oh.
Sorry, I have a lot on. Just tell me when you're done.
Okay, sell. And I was going to modify that. But first, let's sell some of the useless ammo. Okay, still well overweight, but slightly less now.
Great serpent keep you.
Great serpent keep me. Okay. Because I am missing still one of those kids.
Wonder what our trade routes will look like now that Hasmek is speaker.
No loitering. Buy what you need and then get out.
How do you feel about Dul'khef taking power?
Business has never been better, and that is good enough for me.
See what you got for sale. Alright, oh, throwables. Seeing what I've got like this. Sell 41 of them. Always easy to get more. Consumables. I'm not carrying ship parts, am I, like I usually do by accident? God. Aid. Now let's get rid of the ammo. I can't remember which ones they use. There's a way to find out. Nope. So 7750 caseless. Okay, so I can get rid of the 27 caliber. MI array. That's good enough. For now, at least. Kids hiding around here? This big giant power cable just sort of ends here?
If it is a bottle of Koza you need, Herald's Rest is the place. May the Great Serpent guide you.
Yeah, after playing that, Gate to Sovngarde mod compilation for Skyrim, I'm really struck at how static this is compared to that one. Because like that one, I cleared out a mine of bandits and guards moved in, miners moved in. It was a whole thing. This, I've just saved a capital city and nothing's happening.
Serpents keep you.
Wish I could take advantage of all this booming business I keep hearing about.
How do you feel about House Dul'khef?
Times like this, I wish I were an independent vendor. All the other shops are booming, but I still cannot sell to anyone that is not approved.
Let's see what you have
I
for sale.
have some serious firepower here.
You should have a lot of money. Okay, good. So the economy's booming. At least according to what they say. I don't think I've ever gone down this path. No. You guys have a small breach in your wall. You weren't very unforgiving. In fact, you look like you were trying to hide. I get scenic. Just makes me feel so much more could have been done with it. After playing some of these like mod overhauls or total conversion mods. Or other games like Fallout or Skyrim. I, of course, do not have any of the modding, coding, whatever skills needed to start doing things like once you solve this, you can start seeing like maybe it start opening up to other ships coming in. Or you see
Lots of technical equipment here.
Varun appearing
I
out
cannot
in
make sense
the
of it,
settled
but surely
systems.
someone could.
And like, say, Aquila that you see, or New Atlantis.
Well, look who's back. And still in one piece, no less.
I've got your experimental compound.
Have you now? Well, bravo then. When Azad first suggested taking on an assistant, I'll admit that I had my doubts. I'm happy to say that you've laid them all to rest. Here you are. Payment as promised. Did you hear that, love? Our courageous research assistant has delivered yet again.
I never had a shred of doubt. Nothing inspires courage and perseverance like the pursuit of knowledge, I always say.
That is quite literally the first time I've ever heard you say that.
Well, I certainly always think it.
Yes, dear. Of course you do.
Guess so you got some work ahead of you.
Indeed we do. Thanks to you, we not only have the answer to our little mystery, but a path to resolving it. Here's a little something extra for a job well done. Best of luck in your future scientific endeavors.
Okay. Return to Malik Vosh. Around here somewhere, right? Down there. I'm pretty sure I've scanned all the growths, so why is that one showing up as like a non-scanned? That'd just be a glitch.
I pray that you can get to the bottom of this.
Found the person responsible for your missing growths. He'd like to apologize and work as your farmhand.
He'd like to what and do what? I do not need any help, much less from a no-good growth thief. I would have rather you shot him.
You don't mean that. You're getting old and you can use the help.
I mean, maybe so. but from the very same person who stole livestock from me? I just was not expecting this outcome.
You could always call the guards if you don't want them working for you.
I will show the virtue of mercy and hear him out. But I make no guarantees that I will accept him. It has been a strange day, and I would very much like to rest now. I appreciate you looking into this matter.
Okay. Are there any other dots out here? Talk to Borehall. Oh, the duel. I suppose we could go and finish off this duel. The Herald's Rest it is. One thing I do wish is they showed a bit more of lore or fluff about how this environment has changed them. Like, how the planetary environment is affected. Or shape them. Like the tattoos, or like Mars makes people's freaking eyes go red. Chunks, huh?
It still seems surprising that Chunks was... It is heartbreaking to see my people reduced to this.
Mm-hmm.
We will face the future together.
Okay.
Have you come to scoff at the fools? Or are you here to join us, perhaps?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Then you have not heard of the outcasts living at Chunks. I'm not surprised. Our existence is a shameful topic for many.
Okay.
All my life I've looked upward, yearning to explore distant worlds. Such thinking is frowned upon. So I kept these feelings in my heart and did not speak of them. When the calamity struck, things changed. Some of us openly questioned whether it was safe to remain here. The condemnation was swift and merciless. We were shunned and cursed. People would not look at us. Merchants would not serve us.
Okay.
We left the city behind, knowing we would never again be forgiven or accepted.
I'm truly sorry.
Thank you. Sympathy from a stranger is a rare gift among the people of House Varun. Unfortunately, our collective closed-mindedness could lead to our downfall. If more of these unforeseen calamities should happen, we risk losing everything. If you need a place to stay, you may remain here as long as you like. Unlike those in the city, we do not make others feel unwelcome. Or was there something else?
Why'd you choose this place for a new home?
Several reasons. For one, it's large enough to accommodate us comfortably. It's also far enough from the city to afford us some solitude. And lastly, it is unclaimed, and so there is nobody to object to our presence. In truth, people from the city don't like to come here. To many, it's a symbol of the greed and corruption that plague the other factions of humanity.
Why do people oppose the idea of leaving the planet?
Once something is accepted as tradition, it is difficult to change people's minds. The Great Serpent guided Jinan Varun to this world. It is where we are meant to be. To desire to travel to other worlds is to be in defiance of the Serpent's will. Only a select few are sent forth as spies to protect us from the other factions. But in truth, I see a means of control. If people left, they might return with new ideas and challenging questions that threaten the fabric of society.
Will you ever try and return to the city?
Is it possible that someday some of us could return? Perhaps. But that future is difficult to see. At least today. It could be a long time. Perhaps years or even decades before we are accepted in Dazra City again. It is just as likely that we will all die here. Forgotten by our brothers and sisters. Very well.
I need an immobilizing for dislocated limb. Well, what about you? Refugee. Refugee.
I'm not worried. This is a part of the Great Serpent's design.
Sit anywhere you like.
How do the others know that it's not the Great Serpent's will that we spread to our doors?
Pest control.
Good one.
Move along, please. Repair impossible. System malfunction. All must serve.
He shot first. Yeah, I can't ask because it's a big ship. particularly when you see it reflected in the, oh, not really reflected, in the context of the environment.
I'm trying to keep strong.
Dazra security, citizen.
The work never ends.
My partner and I will put on separate job sites. We haven't seen much
No.
of each
Pray
other
for me,
lately.
will you? I need all the help I can get.
What are you?
Do you need something? Did you have something to say to me?
Seems like now isn't a good time.
No, it's not that. Sorry, I do not want to be rude. Most people tend to ignore me, so I'm not very good at talking.
They ignore you.
Well, you are the one that Anasco spoke to, so... well, forgive me if I'm nervous.
What do you do for work? You glitch out, apparently.
I, work in storage. It suits me well, and I do not have to talk with anyone. Well, most of the time. The pay is good enough for me to go to, Herald's Rest after work, and that is all that really matters to me.
What do you think about what's happening in Dazra?
Not good. Things are scary. I try not to think about it too much, but, well, it's not easy. There was another storage employee that I worked with, but, I have not seen him in weeks. I think, well, it's pretty obvious what happened to him. He was always nice to me. He did not deserve this. So yeah, things are scary. Even Dumar is probably scared, even though he always seems so happy.
Okay.
It is good to keep busy.
Oh.
My parents say the Great Serpent won't let anything bad happen to me.
You had us so worried, Barry. What a time to go soul searching.
I have not seen my
I kept
sister in
thinking one of
days.
those horrors we
Great
heard about
Serpent.
got you.
I pray nothing has happened
They
to her.
almost did. And don't worry. I don't plan on making any unexpected pilgrimages
If you need more members to crew your ship, I would be honored.
I'm not sure Eggie's liver could handle
Hmm.
Yeah. You may not want to check the balance on your tab anytime soon. But, it's still open, right?
That will depend on what my father says when he sees the bill.
Something tells me Victor Vethal won't be too keen on funding your drinking habit, Eggie.
It's nice he's catching up with his friends.
Hmm?
What?
Give me your best bottle of Koza, gentlemen.
All I have to do is apologize. Why is it so difficult?
He is trying to kill me. Why should I be the one to apologize? Overhaul likes to paint me as a ne'er-do-well. But what type of psychopath wants to kill their own brother? It is not fair. He should be the one begging for my forgiveness.
Okay.
I need a drink after that.
Varric sure had us worried.
It's great to have
Hopefully, we
everyone
will
back
be able
together.
to see you around.
With Hasmek as the new speaker, perhaps we'll open more trade with the settled systems.
I like having things back to normal.
Something trouble you.
Welcome back. Plenty more to drink to now that Varric's
I worry we are far too focused on the work of
Now that my
repairing
father is speaker,
not the faith that
I
guides
fear what this means for me as House
Well
Vital's
said.
heir.
Let us not forget that without the Great Serpent,
Huh?
our labor will not bear fruit.
My father has been struggling with your decision. I hope he sees.
You will not ever hear me complain about more work.
Your father's not the speaker.
Can I get you anything?
Nope.
If I hear one more lay about grumbling on how hard work
There's a lot of things missing around Dazra. Supplies, government buildings.
What was that discussion about?
Oh, the usual politics. Everyone has an opinion, nobody has a consensus. It's exhausting. The only thing the houses have ever been good at is pointing fingers. Mine's coiled and ready. Is yours?
Has work been challenging since the incident?
Yes, you might say that. But I like a challenge.
Okay.
Sometimes tragedy is an opportunity to advance. Especially if the vortex swallows a direct superior or two.
She's got almost like a French accent.
I am a member of House Vital, stationed at the keep. Our job, to make sure everyone is working and committed to the cause. If someone has a crisis of faith, we simply remind them the importance of their role. As the saying goes, all must serve.
What can you tell me about the keep?
Well, the keep is where the army of Hasvaroon has been traditionally armed and trained. To fight and conquer will always be a part of our culture. Even in peacetime, the serpent is coiled and ready to strike.
Okay. So where were you when the cataclysm
Well,
happened?
I was in Jinan Plaza and had a full view of the whole thing. It was spectacular. A wave of energy sweeping over the city, eating everything in its path. The destruction alone was impressive. But what I'll always remember is the noise. The vortex itself moved swiftly, darkly. But the sound of it was a slow hum. Deliberate. I can't explain it any other way. Like thunder rolling after the lightning. The power of the great serpent. Unleashed.
Well, that's a interesting description. Just popping an energy drink. Nope. I guess that's all the description.
None but the faithful are promised to know.
Uh-huh. That's Danica. Where is Borthol? Let's get the anger out of the way. Some cool art.
I do not wish to judge, but I doubt you truly need to be carrying all of that.
What is it? I need to prepare.
You should call Dul'khef. You'll end up regretting it if you
I will do
don't.
no such thing, and will feel no regrets in avenging Amila's constant dishonors. I have given him every chance, every credit. I have begged him to turn himself around. But instead, it has been endless years of dishonor and pain. Damn him. I should have known years ago that this would be the only way things would end.
So it seems like your mind
If that
is
is
made
all,
up. I'll leave
you
you
may
to it.
take your leave. Greetings.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to say?
What is it now?
No.
Good luck with everything.
So they used to beat Amila. Okay. Well, this must be Amila's room. Because he's mourning the loss of his love.
Need me for something? How did you fare?
Neither agreed to call the duels off.
While disappointing, I am not surprised. Those brothers are stubborn as groats. But you may still have a chance to halt any bloodshed. Listen to me very carefully. Your final duty as a second is to prepare the ceremonial drinks that the duelists will imbibe prior to the duel. As you are preparing the drinks, you will treat each cup with this tranquilizer. Borhall and Amila will be too weak to fight after drinking this. This duel is idiotic, we both know it. It is a needless loss of life during a crisis where there is already so much death. And the victor will rue his actions for the remainder of his life. You have one final chance to stop this.
You are placing both of their lives into our hands. This responsibility is not fair.
What is unfair about saving 2 lives?
I know what to do. I've done this before.
This is no time for jokes. Just take it and deal with the drinks. Great Serpent, watch over us.
Yeah, except I'm not going to do that. Tranquilize no one. Excuse me. Because they would be just super upset if I didn't tranquilize.
Is everything ready?
I cannot wait to be rid of him.
Everything's ready, but are you sure about this?
I am sure. If everything is ready, then it is time to move forward. The time has come. Amila, are you sufficiently prepared?
I am ready.
It is time. Nothing we can do now but observe and hope for the best.
We'll watch the duel. Seems like a wealthy family,
And
given
may
that they
the
have
great
all this.
serpent have mercy on your soul, Amila.
I do like the decorative aesthetic.
Tell me, brother, will you be able to live with yourself?
Shut up. You brought this on yourself.
Pray that you lose, brother. If I am to die, my ghost will never let you rest.
So be it.
Well, that's glitched. Wow, that's a bad glitch. Oh, well, I figured out how the glitch is going. I'll have some root beer and some crackers.
There must be something in all of that you can afford to let go of.
Much to do.
Well, I guess this quest is never going to be completed. That glitched out. I doubt reloading it will fix it. Oh, no, maybe it has. He's all dead.
What the hell do you want?
It is done. May Amila's tormented soul finally find rest in death.
What happens now?
You have fulfilled your duties as second, and will receive your payment in full. As for Danica and I, we must prepare Amila's body for cremation.
Can't believe you actually did it.
I can hardly believe it myself. But Amelia was out of control. What happened today was inevitable.
Ugh, this should not have happened. What have you done? You were supposed to tranquilize them both. You were supposed to scuttle the duel.
What?
Fool. Amila is dead because of you.
Your anger's misguided. You should have done more to end
You.
this.
Stop it, Danica. I did nothing wrong. This tranquilizer would have only delayed the inevitable anyway.
This is... I am done. Tend to your brother yourself.
Do not let Danica shame you. What you did was honorable. Amila accepted the duel, and you let it play out fairly.
I did?
You did nothing wrong.
That's good.
Your duty as a second has ended. You served Amila honorably, and I thank you for that. Now, I'm sure you're eager for your promised payment. It was well earned. But now I am afraid I must ask you to leave. It is time for me to tend to my brother's body. Farewell.
Okay, so that's done. I don't see any more dots.
Do you need anything? I was stubborn before, you know that. Everything I thought about you was wrong. You have done so much for this city, for these people. For that, I give you my sincere thanks. And I am sorry for being such a distrusting fool.
Apology accepted.
Thank you. You have given more for Dazra than most. To put yourself in danger time and again, for a city that is not your home, for people you did not know. For that, you have my gratitude and my respect.
Okay. Soldiers. Gotta say, their soldiers are a bit different than the ones I'm used to. Very rare to see someone bored and just doing push-ups by themselves.
It is good. My gratitude is yours, Diviner.
His eyes are always watching.
Mm-hmm. Anything up here on the roof? Not really. Kind of odd that they have it here. Oh, well. Definitely.
I am in favor of adding extra pockets. For knives. You can never have too many.
The belt carries more. This, no, I think should be a... It's like the scanner thing. So I was wondering if it should be something... to go with more shell. Surplus 15. Go with a increased persuasion. Okay. Health in O2. Yeah, that makes sense. The neurocom is diplomacy. My hat. That's good. High tensile spirons I need. Yeah, I think that's good. Just need high tensile spirons somewhere. Spiron? Spirion? Whatever.
Serpent be with you.
Okay, so we've already talked.
I truly believe if we lost Bear, all must serve. Diviner.
I sense a renewed peace within our house.
I am still in awe of the great all must serve.
What about the Ministry of State?
The Ministry of State maintains the very society of Dazra. We enforce the common goals, that our lives are dedicated to House Varun and the Great Serpent. In order for everyone to contribute, we do not allow for the distractions of disillusion and heresy.
What are your thoughts on House Dul'khef running things?
Who is to say? Hasmek has always been hard to read, and his role as House Elder is new. I expect he will maintain a level of secrecy that House Dul'khef has always kept. An unwise move for one as inexperienced as he.
What were you doing in the Cataclysm store?
I was at the Hall of Obedience, discussing matters that do not concern you when I first saw it. A strange light emanating from the Scale Citadel. It was but a moment later, and light filled the entire room, followed by an indescribable sound, and then silence.
Okay.
Serpents guide you.
Okay, so that's exploring the keep. So kind of like a watch outpost, even though you guys got like a gap in your walls. Let's get a view from up here. Okay. Oh yeah, I wonder how the Kadiks are dealing with Vathal or Dul'khef being in charge.
I wonder what your presence here means for the minute. Our physical house was spared in the incident. If that doesn't show favor, I don't know what does.
It's just where you managed to be living.
With the status quo restored, the Zealots will think twice before challenging House Kadik.
What were you doing when the incident occurred?
I was in my office, going over reports. I only heard a strange noise outside. Strange enough that I knew it demanded my attention. It wasn't until I went to the balcony that overlooks the scaled citadel that I saw the horror.
How do you feel about Dul'khef being in charge?
Better than House Vithal. Hosmek and I share a common interest in the settled systems, which I hope will be reflected in his decisions as Speaker.
Okay.
My only concern is how forthright he'll be. House Dul'khef has always had a way of hoarding information. All must serve.
Secretive but open to trade is better than war, or in the case of your family, someone who's willing to sacrifice other members of the family. And just for a political goal. Oh, they do have a nice aesthetic.
Hazmak is keeping the Ministry of Conjunction quite busy. I could use a break. I told you the Zealots wouldn't harm my dear cousins. The Great Serpent protect you.
Honestly, yeah, I like this house's.
I'm curious. I owe you my life. The morning device is quite fascinating. I should have Sahima explain it to me sometime.
This silver and blue is kind of cool.
Diviner, it's good to see you again. Perhaps the Great Serpent has blessed us with the second meeting to make up for the first one. A hostage situation is hardly the place to make a good first impression.
I could recruit
was it
her,
something I said?
but I don't have space.
If you have business with House Cat, I am a busy man.
but I will try to make time.
What was the discussion in the courtyard about?
So you overheard us. Well then, let me answer your question with a question.
Why were you listening?
Do you think the cycle of violence can be broken? Or are some conflicts absolute?
It's possible to break it.
I wholeheartedly agree. We do not have to forgive, but we can let go. And why continue to fight if the reason for conflict is no longer an issue?
If the source of conflict is good, the fighting should stop.
I concur. And the infighting serves only to weaken House Va'ruun and Dazra. In my argument back there, I advocated for more workers, even if it meant reaching out to our enemies. And yes, I understand the reluctance with House Malin. Their crimes go beyond forgiveness. But I'm also not campaigning to conscript their soldiers. We need workers, healers, and engineers. People who can help rebuild Dazra, not tear it down.
Why push for more workers?
I'm surprised such a question can be asked with the city in such disarray. The problems are obvious, and yet those in power continue to emphasize patience and measured responses. Now is not the time for red tape. The more caution we exercise, the more people will suffer.
Okay. What's your role at House Kadik?
With regards to politics, these days I'm mostly an advisor. I focus on high-level concepts and strategies as opposed to the day-to-day operations. I let my ward Okeem handle all of that. He sends me proposals, I weigh in, and give my approval. I've even made him captain of my ship, the Cortege. I joke that I'm mostly a glorified rubber stamp. But my days working the field are over.
Was that discussion heated?
Oh, I assure you it was 100% personal. Davina and I have history. She blames me for derailing her political ambitions. Without getting too caught in the seaweed. A long time ago, I received some bad intel from a source on a zealot hideout. Davina used that intel to launch an attack, and ended up taking out a camp of civilians. The incident was high profile, and the fault was attributed mostly to her. She's never forgiven me for it. And I fail to see why. It's petty and unprofessional for someone of her position.
Perhaps. So where were you when the cataclysm happened?
I was at the spaceport, attending to business. I only witnessed the crest of the vortex emanating from the scaled citadel. It lasted only a moment. A flash in the sky. It was only the hours afterward that we understood the consequences of that moment. We'll talk more later.
Starting to regret not picking Kadik, because I like their aesthetic, and other than the one that was willing to...
accepted, I wonder if you'll see our influence on the settled systems.
Yeah.
I hope when you return to the settled systems, you'll aid in showing them the truth.
Maybe Kadik could have ended up... They're much more pragmatic in one way, too.
Things they
Our sins must have been considerable for the Great Serpent to subject us.
So there's the bar.
I've already been put on another job.
We'll need to rely on others at times, but I'd like to keep this investigation mostly between us.
What can you tell me about Akuro Dul'khef?
He's a good man. A little awkward, yes, but who isn't? As executors tend to be, he is also meticulous and detailed. Given the incident, a lost shipment here and there is almost a given. But I also trust my cousin's record keeping. It's hard to imagine he made a mistake.
Is it possible the supplies are simply
That
lost?
is what I suggested to Okaru originally when I asked him to dig further. It is not until his disappearance that I have begun to suspect something more sinister. But I cannot imagine that anyone with access to said shipments would commit such heresy. To forsake one's duty for profit is an affront to House Va'ruun.
How does Dazra operate?
Before the Cataclysm, city operations were comprised of 3 branches, run by each of the noble houses: House Kadik, Vethol, and Dul'khef. And while the buildings themselves are gone, the staff remains.
Okay.
Collectively, we are still trying to serve the needs of Dazra and its citizens. That has become exceedingly difficult in the wake of all that's happened, but we are still duty-bound.
What's House Kadik in charge
They
of?
mostly deal with matters regarding the settled systems. Their primary focus is diplomacy, gathering information, and converting unbelievers to the true path.
And what about Vethol?
They handle all matters concerning the Va'ruun populace. They ensured all citizens were productive, fed, and had work, and that said work was in service to House Va'ruun.
And what is Dul'khef's role?
Executors at House Dul'khef focus mostly on trade. While we take pride in being self-sufficient, there are supplies that are necessary from the outside world for Dazra to function. Commerce agents work with smugglers to organize drop-offs, trade routes, and ensure our efforts remained discreet.
Okay, earlier questions.
Of course.
Where were you in the Cataclysm happened?
Myself and some others were having dinner at the meat house. From our vantage point, we couldn't see what was happening outside the scaled citadel, but I could hear the blast searing into my skull. I remember falling from my chair, trying to get my bearings in this period of eerie silence, and then I heard the screams. Let me know if you have any further questions.
I have heard that we may try to establish trade with the Seven Systems.
That would make sense.
We have displaced the Great Serpent, so do not agitate him any further.
There used to be several temples like this. Now, look at this place.
The Great Serpent has filled you with purpose. Is that not beautiful?
What exactly does a herald do?
The High Council supports the Speaker on matters practical and political. Heralds like myself provide spiritual and philosophical guidance. Together with the Speaker, we work to divine the intent of the Great Serpent and to spread his message to the people of House Va'ruun. And, as time permits, I make myself available to the people of Dazra for the same guidance. I exist to serve, as do we all.
Why else has no one been converted in so long?
A difficult question. The original converts were accepted in the years after House Va'ruun first made contact with the settled systems. Once the Serpent's crusade began, there were fears that anyone from the outside could be spies, infiltrators.
Fair enough.
And after the crusade, few were eager to join. When Jinan Va'ruun's son Jarek took power, we pulled back, rejected contact with non-believers. We removed any avenues for converts to find us. But there were those among us who hoped that one day we might help others see the light of the Great Serpent's teachings. And if we can survive our current situation, your presence here now might sway opinions on future converts.
How do you think the calamity will impact the faith of the citizens? Okay, so it doesn't work. Okay, can you pray with me?
Of course. Great Serpent. Oh, Great Serpent. Please hear our prayer. Inject us with your venom, so that we may be emboldened to serve you. Kill all our fears and doubts. Show us that only through you can true peace and contentedness be achieved. All must serve.
Let's see if it works now. Nope.
Go on and continue to fulfill your holy purpose.
Okay. Looking for that one last kid somewhere. Oh, and there's that. She wants me. House divided. Investigate the halls of healing. Well, I'm going that way anyways. Spaceport. What's this one? Halls of Obedience. So what? Police? Secret police?
Everyone's here. The meeting can commence. What is first on the agenda?
Alright.
Very well, Meduri. I accept your offer.
Okay. I just want to listen in. Okay. Interesting.
Can handle a wrench.
As you command, Speaker.
Moving on, let us proceed to the next item on the agenda.
There is the question of the Zealots and their continued presence, both here and outside of Vurun Kai.
It's time to take a stance on all who support Jandar's teachings. We must root them out from the inside before the poison spreads.
Are you implying, Mediary, that there are Zealot sympathizers among us?
I am not implying. I know this for a fact. Some have even said our noble houses may be aiding a few.
You speak blasphemy.
I speak the truth, and if such truth came to light, surely our speaker would not tolerate such treachery.
House Dul'khef has never been a friend to the Zealots.
If I may, I'd argue this debate is a question of law. Where is the line drawn? Obviously, if the accused is found guilty, then they deserve the harshest of punishments. If there is any doubt, however...
Precisely. Either House Vithal should name the accused, or end this meaningless exercise in thought.
I apologize, Speaker. I meant no offense.
Then this matter is closed. Let us move to the next item on the agenda.
I'd like to bring up the subject of immigration. As you all know, we have agents all across the settled systems, which include people from outside Faerun Kai. It's my belief that many of these people would be willing to serve House Faerun and become promised.
There is precedence given recent events, and additional hands are very much needed.
But
I strongly disagree. Our city is in a state of chaos, and you would bring our enemies to our front door? No, I cannot abide.
They would be closely vetted and their behavior monitored. In fact, you can do it personally, Mhorgrimm. Unless you doubt the Ministry of State's capability to do so.
Oh, nicely done.
House Vithal will do its duty, as it always has.
Without committing, I'll say that the bar for citizenship will be much higher than the one for smugglers and others we have integrated. But I will have to consider this matter further before we proceed.
Okay.
And on that note, it appears we are out of time.
Then we will assemble at a later date. All must serve.
Hey there, you.
Though I question your judgment, the Great Serpent keep you.
How about you, Malabor?
Hello, Divina.
You have served House
Hazmat will
Faerun
bring
well.
a unique composure and poise to the role of speaker. I believe we have chosen very well.
What separates you from the zealots all over the settled
That
systems?
depends a great deal on who you ask. Generations ago, we made a decision to pull back from the settled systems.
Okay.
Some amongst us saw that as a mistake, an abandonment of House Varun's true calling. The schism within our people grew until some took it upon themselves to leave and declare themselves the true descendants of Jinan Varun. They are, of course, factually wrong and incredibly misguided.
So what exactly does your High Council
Any
do?
decision about House Varun is the Speaker's to make. But Jinan Varun, in his wisdom, saw fit to create the High Council to help advise those decisions. We offer perspectives and opinions that can often contradict one another, which can ultimately help the Speaker to guide our people. Now that we have a new Speaker, we can attempt to restore the normal order of things. Though, if that Speaker is not of Jinan Varun's line, do they still carry the same authority?
And how long you been on the High Council?
Not long, though it feels like an eternity. Jamal and I had only been a part of the council for maybe a year before all this, and we were only ever in subordinate roles. It has been quite a challenge to accept this new level of responsibility. Dul'khef, on the other hand, has served on the council for quite a long time. He rarely lets us forget it.
Okay. Hi, Lovek.
Yes? Did you require something?
What was Dazra like before the experiment?
It was breathtaking. A true testament to the will of Jinan Varun and our faith in the Great Serpent.
So he's a
To
fanatic.
have started from nothing and to have accomplished so much. I pray to the Serpent that we can someday reclaim all that we have lost.
Oh, fanatic or playing the role of a fanatic. Where were you when the experiment went wrong?
I was outside the city, visiting a friend at his farm. We saw the flash of light from inside, and by the time we made it outside, you know, in that moment, I worried it was my fault. That I had somehow not been faithful enough,
so
that I had not
okay.
believed. I still find myself worrying that we are being punished. That we have affronted the Great Serpent in some way, and that this is our penance.
So he's not acting, he's... Yeah, he's gone into his faith as a way to cope. Did you know Sirach Vithal?
Indeed, Sirach was my cousin. I know they were assigned to the Oracle, and Malabor relayed their final report sent by the station. They walk with the Great Serpent now.
Can you tell me more about Sirach?
Sirach was a respected scientist dedicated to the Great Serpent. They spent every moment engrossed in their work, a true testament of faith. It was their greatest honor to be selected for the Oracle.
What will become of the Oracle now?
The Oracle's fate will be tabled for a future discussion. We have more important issues at hand.
How many people were stationed in the Oracle?
87 souls reside with the Great Serpent now. Many were some of the finest scientific minds House Va'ruun had to offer. They will be remembered alongside those we lost here in Dazra.
Okay, let's see, I have other
Of
questions.
course.
So, why have I never seen this star system on AMA maps? How have you managed to stay hidden?
We are well aware of how we are perceived by people outside House Va'ruun, what they might inflict upon us, given the chance. So, our survival has required a great deal of effort and planning. Grav jump coordinates are a closely guarded secret, known only to a few. And our agents have infiltrated every government of the settled systems.
Yeah, but
Data
someone could
is
just
carefully
decide, hey,
and
there's
quietly
that
scrubbed
star
from
right
their
there, let's
maps.
go check it out.
Those who manage to find their way here rarely leave. Were the circumstances different, you would have learned for yourself.
Like, it's not like this is something like Warhammer where there's like warp corridors and stuff where something can be isolated. Like, I can just pick a star system, calculate the coordinates, and go boop. Okay, so that goes out that way. Oh, that's right. I need snackies. Snackies. So I'm guessing that the new speaker wandered off somewhere.
Salutations.
The Halls of Authority were in the destroyed area.
It has been quite a challenge to keep all of the records in order.
No, we've already talked. Well, let's investigate the Halls of Healing.
Great Serpent, please help me. I am terrified.
Serpent's Grace, are you a new volunteer? I was told you'd be coming yesterday. Or was it today? By Jinan. What day even is it?
Thursday.
Already? By the Herald, you're right. Which means time is at a premium. My name is Vasilis. I am a Herald's assistant. Or I was, until the cataclysm took out much of the city and half of the people with it.
Now I'm part healer, caretaker, warrior. The list goes on and on.
Okay. I imagine it's been a trial by fire.
I would gladly take a fire over what's happened to our city. You don't need Jinan's side to see things are bad. No, bad is the wrong word. What happened here was tectonic. And while the wounded are being tended to, I'm most concerned with those in the city who haven't sought help. What we need is for people to check in on the elderly and the infirm.
Mm-hmm. I can check out folks.
Thank you. There are many in need. But I would like you to start with Regan Ueda. His home is not too far from here, near the Halls of Obedience. I need two things. One, see if he's okay. And two, make sure he's taking his medicine. Plus, it will be good for him to see a friendly face, to give his spirits a lift.
Why does he need medicine?
It's to help with his memory. It's a bit scattered already. And he has trouble remembering where he left things. I've heard stories that he's taken to hoarding. That doesn't sound good. But maybe it'll help him keep his mind busy. Just trying to think of the bright side. Sort as that may be around here.
Okay. Where were you during the cataclysm?
I was on my way to the Scaled Citadel when I saw a bird in flight pass overhead. It inspired me to write a hymn, so I stopped in my tracks to reach for my slate. I had barely started typing when I noticed the ground spilling at the edge of my feet. I looked down, then up, to see a vast crater of nothing before me, and fell to my knees. I can say for certain I was there, at the very line between life and death. But I never witnessed the vortex perform its terrible works of death and devastation. Somehow, that troubles me more. In the time since, I've wondered why I was spared, when so many were lost. Perhaps it is the will of the Great Serpent that I be here to help those in need.
Maybe. But what else can you tell me about Regan?
He's long in the tooth and a tad absent-minded. So, don't worry about distracting him. He'll do that all on his own.
Are you being overworked?
Under normal circumstances, yes. Under these circumstances, the concept of overworked doesn't exist.
What made you want to be a herald?
In Dazra, violence is a part of life, starting from the day we are asked to sacrifice our growths. So much of our service is dedicated to bloodshed, and I grew tired of it. I wanted to perform miracles of a different kind, but I don't know if I am capable of such things.
Can you heal people?
About that. So, I was on the fast track to be a herald once upon a time. Emphasis on the was. Turns out I'm a bit squeamish when it comes to blood and viscera. So for now, if you're hurt, talk to Hantan Irara. She's far more qualified. That's not to say I won't be capable someday. It's my dream, after all, to become a herald. But one cannot serve the house without first carving the dagger. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with.
Hopefully. What is it?
How do you feel about Dul'khef taking power?
Our stock of supplies has somewhat improved, but my healers are more overworked than ever. Hard work and long hours means that more people are injuring themselves, not just the displaced.
Okay.
Our stock of supplies.
Get it,
Hard work
same
and long
answer,
hours
okay.
means... If you'll excuse me then.
At least being this busy keeps my mind occupied.
Just trying to survive one more day.
Second floor.
Even in these trying times, we're doing all we can to keep House Varun supplied. House Dul'khef is at your service.
So, can you tell me more about the Ministry of Commerce?
House Varun depends on trade, internal and external, just like any civilization. The ministry facilitates and oversees that trade.
Okay.
Jinan Varun himself established the houses and charged us with this responsibility. We pride ourselves on a job well done.
What's your role in House Dul'khef?
As of very recently, I am the elder. I am ultimately responsible for all of House Dul'khef, and by association, the Ministry of Commerce. That would have been enough of a change, but to be named speaker, it is a great deal to adjust to.
And how will you govern as speaker?
Our first priority, not just now, but always, must be to the people of House Varun. We owe them stability. We need to rebuild, secure new supply lines. After that, we can take a longer view of the future. We must maintain the balance that Jinan Varun created. All must serve.
He's a good choice, I guess. That leads outside. Radiology.
I'm sorry, but this wing of the hospital is under investigation. You'll have to leave.
Orsani sent, or Kisarani sent me. This light should give me access.
Even with the cataclysm, this is highly irregular. But not surprising. Kisrani is obsessed with transparency and often seeks independent help. I find this tendency unwise.
And by unwise, he means a complete disregard for operational security, rules, and regulations.
Possibly. And yet, despite what I said, and unsaid, she persists in doing so. So, we must come to a compromise.
A good compromise leaves everyone unhappy. This one was particularly miserable.
I will give you the keycard to Ukaru's computer. You will be able to access documents and correspondence for the past month. Any further access will require admin privileges, which I am not willing to grant.
That's not good enough. I need admin privileges.
I apologize, but you were only given access to view the computer's records. Admin privileges are restricted to House officials only.
Ah, but I am the diviner. He's been absent from his post. Whatever privacy rights he had are now forfeit.
Regardless of his violations, admin access is not granted so cavalierly.
Stop wasting my time. You should be aware of who I am and what I'm capable of.
I am aware of your stature, and the threat is noted. I would rather not make an enemy of you. I suppose, given all that's happened, exceptions must be made. You'll be granted temporary admin privileges to Ukaru's computer. That should be enough for you to do your investigation.
Has anyone else been allowed entry?
Several. The halls of healing are extremely busy. We can't keep track of every individual that passes through. In particular, the patients. We had to usher one out of here just now, who claimed to have a crippling headache.
Given the patient himself was a headache, it's likely genetic.
The admin privileges I've granted you will allow you to view the access logs, however, that track the last users to sign in.
Okay. Is it unusual for Ukuru to abandon his post?
It is highly unusual for anyone to display such disobedience, especially now. Such actions are tantamount to heresy. Loss of employment is the most likely outcome.
A beheading isn't off the table.
It would be done humanely, of course.
When did Ukuru last check in for work?
Ukaru hasn't logged into his station for some time. I've had to process several write-ups documenting his absence.
Dereliction of duty, failure to serve, fireable offenses all around.
We've also had to shift resources and people to make up for his absence. Suffice to say, it has made navigating this current situation more difficult.
Did he give you any details about what he was up to?
Unfortunately, rather than use the proper channels, he chose to start his own investigation.
A very unfortunate choice.
I will not pretend to know the particulars of this case. I will say this. We are House Dul'khef. We have a reputation. We are professional. We are exacting.
We don't make mistakes.
Precisely. Now, to get back to these spreadsheets.
Suspicious here. Diagnostic suite. Gonna do this methodically. Okay, so research, diagnostic, and C0. Obviously they were helping Anasco, because that looks like one of their things there. So were they processing the people here, and that's what he discovered? Let's check what I can see in the research wing here. Restroom. Hole in the wall there, going out to the outside. Remote login, interesting. Record deleted. 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 Restore the archive. Assisting into auditor supply chain. Very peculiar. So they were allowed to have remote access. Missing shipments. Genetic, medical, weapons, munitions, ship parts. Generic? Looks like it's... I bet you they're supplying the... fanatics. Okay. Am I being followed?
Proceed.
Okay. Let's go check on the old man in town before we track down the missing shipment.
Great Serpent keep you.
Not.
Who are you?
What did we do to deserve this? What did I do?
How do you feel about Host Dul'khef?
I really do not care, one way or another. Nothing will change what happened to us. What was taken from us.
I do not care. This could change House of Ruin forever.
Everything had already changed forever weeks before your arrival. I have had my fill of change.
I'd like to hear more about your wife if you're ready.
I am grateful for these opportunities to remember her. But to be honest, words can never do her justice. Her family did not like me. They said I was a dead end, not fit to be a husband or a father. They had a husband already picked out for Mira. But she would not hear it. She was just so supportive. She did not care what anyone, much less her family, thought of me. She just loved me and I loved her. That was the end of it.
That's nice.
I knew I loved her since we were children, really. She was my neighbor, and I would do anything to get her attention. But I honestly did not think I would ever actually be so lucky to marry her. I just cannot believe she's gone.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Really, thank you. And thank you again for letting me tell you about her. I could talk about her for 1,000,000 years and never even scratch the surface of how amazing she was.
Like, I hate that. Oh, they would want you to move on. That's one of the worst things to tell people. You move on when you want to move on. Hey, bud.
Where did I put it? Serpent's tongue. I'm getting tied up with my own system. Oh, hello. Have we met before?
That's a difficult question to answer.
Is it? Then I apologize. I thought it was rather simple, but maybe I'm mistaken. I've been trying to keep everything here sorted, based on a personal system. The problem is that it's all gotten to be too much, and I can't find my things.
You have a system for sorting your things?
Yes. I pick a word that reminds me of another word, and that makes me remember where it is.
Okay.
There might be a slate around here that has more details. Maybe look around for those.
They can help find your things.
Oh, that would be grand. This seems more like a two-person job. With my system and your gusto, we'll find exactly what I'm looking for. Whatever it was.
What things did you lose?
Well, my keycard for one, socks for another, and one more thing. Something important, I think.
Your meds. You lost something important? Do you know what it might be?
No, but I'll know it when I see it. I think.
What is the missing keycard for?
Oh, several things. I just don't recall what they are. Maybe it was for a door? I'm sorry. I'm so forgetful these days.
And you lost your socks.
Not my socks, but socks. He's a dog plushie. White as a pair of socks, if I recall correctly. Of course, no guarantee that I do. Excuse me.
Like, I've dealt with someone with dementia before, so
What's this thing? It's a seed accelerator that will help you grow your plants. We have one at the orphanage.
You mean like spies?
No, I mean like green things that grow out of the ground.
Ah, yes. Envies. They're green with.
Okay.
The Great Serpent is always with us, at work and at home.
Just a reminder, I'll be over tomorrow to help organize your things. The trash goes into the bin, but the clutter we can place on the shelves. We'll get everything sorted and just how you like it. Love you and see you soon.
Oh, but she was probably lost in the disaster.
I would prefer that we both remain light on our feet. You never know what could happen.
Let's help the old man.
Look, I know that you're running out of shelf space, but you really shouldn't put things on the hearth. There's a whole box of paper towels here for no reason. And don't get me started on the stuff in the cook pit.
Well, I don't put it there on purpose. I'm in the living room, and I need some place to put things, and it sort of happens. Also, I was trying to keep round things together. Round circle, round things. And Sox's helmet is round. I have a whole system based on word association.
It's no wonder you're always losing your things.
memories. They sink into the depths of your brain.
Jinan, that's a terrible system.
Well, we know where it is then.
So, tell me about your kids. The ones at the orphanage.
I love them, but they can be difficult. There's this one boy, Rumarin, who won't stop misbehaving.
He sounds like a handful.
I need about 10 more hands and a cargo ship for that one.
I see.
Careful, don't knock over the vase.
Okay. Okay, we cleaned up all his clutter. Now,
You'll never guess what I found. It's a music box.
Oh, that old thing? It probably doesn't even work anymore.
Well, that's because you never sing to it.
Pardon?
You have to train this kind of box. You fill it with a song, and it will remember the melody and play it back to you.
Oh, I don't know. Are you sure that's how it works?
Lost, alone, amidst the dreams, whispers, a voice sings for our trapped world, unheard.
That's a very catchy song. Hard to forget. Like an earworm.
Worms in your ears would be hard to forget.
I'm just saying, if I heard it, I would remember this day. Remember us. So would you, I think.
Well, I plan on sticking around for a while, but okay, deal. If something were to happen and we forget each other, we'll play this song to remember.
Deal. Oh, what do you have there? A music box? What is that? A music box? I don't remember owning that. I wonder if it even works.
if you kept it hidden away, it must have been important.
Good point. In a safe, for safekeeping, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if I heard it play, I might recall something. Could you maybe give it a try?
How do I make it work? Play.
This song, I can't.
You missed your chair.
I remember now. This song. It's the one my granddaughter used to sing. She used to help me around the house, doing chores, tidying up.
And then the accident happened. And I haven't seen her since.
By accident, do you mean the vortex?
Yes. She was volunteering at the old orphanage in the heart of the city when the accident happened. So many were lost. So many. And yet, I still had hope she would return. But every day that passed, I could feel the hope in my heart start to wane. And when you played that song, I felt an emptiness swell over me. And I realized she's never coming back.
Why keep it locked away?
Have you ever had a dream that was so vivid you thought you would never forget it? Then you wake up and none of it remains. Only a longing for something you'll never have back. Most days, that's what I feel. Empty and alone, but never sure why. But when I hear that music, the dream becomes real again. And it's too much for this old man to bear.
I'm sorry, maybe she's still out there.
I know you mean well, but I can't keep doing this. The more I cling to the idea she's still alive, the harder it gets. If you don't mind, I have a favor to ask. Keep the music box with you. The song. It carries too many memories. And with it, a pain I wish to forget.
Is that why you stopped taking your medication?
Yes. And it's my choice. If you have mercy, let me live with it.
I'll keep the music box for you.
Thank you. You need not do anything special with it. But I can't bear the sight of it. Now, if you'll kindly leave, I must get back to my things. Thank you for your help, but I would like to be alone.
Is there some compulsion that leads you to do this? Childhood trauma? It is okay to let things go.
Actually sad.
Dazra. It was once so beautiful.
Like, I get why he wants to forget us. Because the pain of remembering is too much.
Great serpent, please help me. I am
And I know people have made a choice like that too, so...
I feel so overwhelmed, but I can't afford to be. Now is not the time. So, how did it go with Reagan?
I'm worried about him. His granddaughter's missing.
Sadly, that's the way of things at the moment. These days, it's hard to account for who's missing and who's gone. But the difference hardly matters. Loss is loss, no matter the form. In any case, thank you for doing this for me. I'm sure your visit helped him, if only for a moment. If you don't mind, can you come back in a day or two? I will have more work for you then.
If you have more work, I'll come back later.
I most certainly will. Dazra's problems are many, but its character continues to shine through in people like yourself. Regardless, even if our paths do not cross again, Jinan bless you for your assistance.
All must serve.
Obedience is paramount.
Yeah, let's go to the spaceport. Drop stuff off at the ship.
Mila, I don't know where I'd be without my brother.
Remember this. We are always watching.
No missing kids? Uh-huh.
Boring. What took you so long? Ugh, I've been waiting forever. I'm so bored.
Can you give me a hint where Mila might be?
Mila always hides near the Halls of Devotion in Dinan Plaza.
Well, I've still got to go find Mila.
Fine. Bye.
Okay. Near the Halls of Devotion.
Never thought I would see what is past the city gates.
How's everyone been treating you?
People ignore me for the most part, and that is all right. I do not expect to be welcomed with open arms, as it was not long ago they feared me. I hope that with time, people will begin to warm up to me. But even if they do not, I will be content. I have done so many terrible things in my past. And just having the opportunity to live in Dazra is more than I deserve. The people allow me to live among them. And that is an honor in itself.
So, do you think the other Zealots will try and retaliate to you?
Unlikely. Although I suppose it is not impossible. But it would mean an early grave for them. Any Zealot stupid enough to try and draw their weapon against me will be dead before their gun leaves its holster.
How's it living in Dazra?
It is, well, not as glamorous as I had convinced myself it would be, honestly. Really, I was not at all prepared for the scale of turmoil that would reveal itself when I stepped through the city gates. Dazra is like my old shack, falling to pieces. Everyone is just trying to survive in a space that is not fit for life. But do not think that I will take it for granted. You and I fought too hard for me to get here. I will do whatever I can to help my new neighbors rebuild.
Where'd he go? Oh, no. We're not done. You need to talk about Dul'khef.
I am not well versed in house politics, but House Dul'khef always seemed to be the most level-headed of the bunch. Seems a good choice to me. Let us speak later, then.
Let's have a meal with the crew.
I find the interior of this ship comforting.
And then we'll have a, go find Mila. Barbacoa. And root beer. Fine. And store that. Alright, let's go find Mila.
Greetings, Captain.
So she always hides by the Halls of Devotion in Jinan Plaza. Okay. Health rest. Goods exchange. This is the Hall of Devotion, right?
Ivali and Alana's house is great, but I miss my old one. You found me! Wow, you're a lot better than me at this game. Thanks for helping me put a smile on my friends' faces.
Ivali mentioned before that your parents are gone. Are you going to be okay?
I'll be okay. Ivali and Alana's parents have taken me in.
Are they treating you well?
Yeah, I like living with them, because they have a big house. But I don't really see their parents that much. It's nice living with Alana and Ivali, though, since we're able to play a lot more now. Really, it's a good thing that I'm staying with them, since their parents have been so busy lately. Alana's been really sad about that, so I've been trying hard to cheer him up. I'm not sure if I've been helping, but I'm trying my best.
Alana might not show it now, but one day he'll look back and be thankful for everything you did. You're doing great.
Thanks. I'm glad you think so.
Do you mind if I ask what happened to your parents?
My house was close to the Scaled Citadel when the, thing happened. It's gone now, and so are my parents. I was playing with Alana at his house when it happened. Alana's parents told me that mine were dead, and that I'd be living with them now.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's alright. But, sorry, I don't really want to talk about it anymore.
I should be going then.
Okay, thanks for the game.
Move, no loitering.
Well, I guess this is an opportune time to call an end to the session. Been going for over 2 hours. Gotta say that quest with the old man hit me a lot harder than I thought it was going to. Wasn't really prepared for that. But when you're old enough, you've experienced loss like he's had too, and yeah, I get the pain he's going through. Good on the writers for that one. Really good. Knows how to hit the emotional heartstrings pretty hard. So until the next time, this has been Mhorgrimm. Hoping you're all taking care of yourselves. Hoping to see you again soon. But until then, bye now.